This is Richard Jacobs from myduiattorney.org, and I'm here today with Michael Tillotson. He's a Virginia DUI lawyer. He wrote the book called Virginia DUI Law, Understanding the Scientific, Medical, Technological, and Legal Aspects of a DUI Case. He's a highly esteemed attorney in his state, and he's agreed to do an interview with me today. So welcome, Mr. Tillotson.
Hello, Mr. Jacobs. How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome. I guess we'll just launch right into the questions. So my first one is, what made you choose to handle DUI cases? Why do you practice this area of law?
Well, that's kind of an involved question, really, but I started practicing 20 years ago, and I worked in a corporate law firm, 90 attorneys, for 2 years, handling business litigation, and was very unhappy doing that. I always thought of myself as going to law school to help people. So when I went into private practice after about 2 years on my own, I started doing criminal cases and some personal injury cases. Through the years, I guess it was about 1998 is when I attended my first DUI seminar out in Las Vegas, a national DUI seminar.
Okay.
So I had been practicing for 8 years, handling DUI cases, and I realized after I attended that first seminar out in Las Vegas through the National College of DUI Defense, which I'm proud to be a member of and the state delegate for. But when I attended that seminar, I realized that I had no idea what I was doing in a DUI case. DUI cases are very complicated. You're dealing a lot with science, with medical issues, and it's truly an area where innocent people can be convicted, and the consequences are just so severe. It's an area that's very political, and so the state is eager to convict, and they use machinery, the breath test machines that can be so variable and can give false results on people, but yet they want to make it sound like these things are perfect. So for me, coming from a background that wanted to help people, this was an area where I could truly help people, some people that were innocent, fighting against the state that really wanted to convict them and weren't concerned about false results or injustices and things like that. And I know this is a long answer, I said it was, but one other thing is that the constitutional protections given to all of us,
Right.
There's no other area of law where those protections are being eroded as they are in DUI cases. And that's a whole lengthy discussion, but suffice it to say that my colleagues in the National College have inspired me to try to be the very best attorney that I can be, and I can do that representing those citizens that are accused of driving under the influence of alcohol.
Okay, fair enough. So since you started, how many cases have you handled, DUI cases, in the past 10 years or 18 years?
Well, I probably average between 100 and 150, I guess, at some of the high points. I take less cases now because I know how to do them better, and they take a lot more time, and I've raised my fees. So I would say it's probably in 10 years somewhere close to 1,200 or so DUI cases.
Okay, and it's good you're focusing more on quality and not just, getting them in there like an assembly line.
Yes, we put a lot of time into each case, and I wouldn't be able to do more than two cases or so a week, which is still a lot for what we do. Yes.
Okay. Is there any typical circumstance of the people that come to you for help? Are there more first-time offenders or repeats? Are there more men and women?
Well, obviously, there's more first offenses than repeat offenders. Thank goodness. Most people learn their lesson after the first time, but we do get repeat offenders. As far as men, women, I think probably men more so than women. But really, we get people that call our office. We have 4 lawyers, so we kind of make our prices so that they can be affordable for everybody that gets DUI, pretty much everybody. And it runs the gamut. We get students, we get professionals, business executives, military officers, police officers, firemen, truck drivers. We get people in all walks of life.
Wow.
And a lot of them, their whole career is at stake, and that's who we represent.
Okay. And of the people that you've represented, do a lot of them come close to that .08 limit, or are a significant number a lot higher in terms of blood alcohol level?
I don't think that I could put a percentage on what number of cases are at an .08 versus at a higher level. I think they pretty much run the board, between .08s and 1.5s. I think it's pretty spread out percentage-wise. Being pretty much equal is what I mean.
Okay. What would you say is unique about the DUI laws in Virginia, and then also the particular counties and cities that you work in?
Well, I don't know that our laws are necessarily unique versus other states. States are becoming more and more uniform in their laws as time goes on.
Okay.
We do have different punishments than other states. In Virginia, it's a 1-year loss of license. We don't have any probation before judgment like they would in Maryland, or a 3-month loss of license like they do in, I believe, Wisconsin.
Okay.
So Virginia is considered one of the tougher states as far as punishment.
Okay.
And as far as jurisdictionally, pretty consistent across the board of what judges do, except for with restricted licenses. Judges vary on how much they want to give as far as the restrictions on a license.
Okay. Well, changing gears, what would be your best tip if someone's in the process of being pulled over and they've had one or more drinks? What's your best recommendations for what they should or shouldn't do when they first interact with the police?
Well, first of all, always be polite and courteous to the police officer. The police officers are doing their job. They're protecting the community. Asserting your constitutional rights is not going to get you in trouble, but being rude or belligerent can get you in trouble.
Okay.
The second thing is to know your rights. All you have to do is to provide your driver's license and your basic information. You do not have to do any field sobriety tests. These field sobriety tests are designed in a way that it's difficult to do them, and any misstep, anything, the cop is going to write it down and testify to it in a way that it makes you sound like you're impaired by alcohol.
Okay.
I would politely decline field sobriety tests. I would politely decline the preliminary breath test out on the field, unless you absolutely know you haven't had anything to drink. Or that you absolutely know it's just one or something like that. I wouldn't do any field sobriety test, no preliminary breath test. Now, if you are arrested, you are required to take the test down at the station. And if you don't, you can lose your license for not doing so.
Okay, so that's
and potentially jail. I'm sorry.
Okay.
And potentially go to jail on second or some more offenses.
Okay. So the most important distinction I heard is the preliminary breath test. You don't have to take it, but once you're arrested and at the station, then you should.
You're required under the law to take the test at the station, correct?
Okay. It's a good distinction. Okay. What kinds of help can you provide to your clients? Can you help reduce their time in jail or their fines, or possibly get their charge knocked down? What kinds of things can you do or have you done?
My goal with every case that comes into this office, either with myself or the other attorneys, our goal is to get you out of the charge. We look for whatever way possible to try to avoid a DUI conviction, because they can be devastating. Obviously, that's not possible in every case. So if we can't get you out of it completely, then we're going to try to reduce the consequences, either avoiding jail time. Mostly it's the jail time that's the major consequence. Other than that, the penalties are pretty standard.
Okay.